This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome, Superfans. This is your weekly podcast where we talk all things Chicago sports. I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster. Sitting across from me is the original man-child himself, Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And the one, the only, Sean Anderson.
Hello there.
And today we've got a great episode for you guys. We're starting things off with some comments that have been made during the interviews going into the NBA All-Star Weekend. A little bit of Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler talk about a potential return to the Chicago Bulls. Then Chris Bryant trade rumors are on the rise because Chris Bryant made some public statements, gave a little bit of insight into what's going on behind some closed doors. And then the best one of the day, I think, in my mind, is the 2020 NFL Draft. Should the Bears trade Khalil Mack for the second overall pick? But before we get started, I do want to give a quick shout out to Twitch and to our patrons who are watching us right now. If you want to check us out on a weekly basis, we are live on Friday or Saturday, depending on the week for super fans. And for patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast, the $1 tier gets you onto our Discord. The $5 tier, you can submit a topic. And at 10, you can call in with a topic of your own. This week, we had John call in for the NBA Draft, and it was a banger. But let's get started, boys. Some comments about Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler. So this one's kind of funny to me because I think both of these guys feel like they got done dirty by the organization of the Chicago Bulls. But it did come out that Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose both talked about it. Jimmy Butler, when asked if he would ever come back and play in Chicago, Jimmy responded with, "Yeah, of course. Like, come on, this is Chicago. This is home for me for a long time. Still is home for me now. It's a definite possibility. Who knows? Towards the end of my career, who knows?" So I think that one's interesting because I felt like Jimmy had the worst end of the deal because it felt like not only had he had the issues over the contract between he and the front office, but then also kind of forcing his way out of the town during a rebuild.
But to that extent as well, they then traded D Rose and said, "Jimmy, it's your team." And then they brought in D Wade, they brought in Rondo. So maybe they did a little bit of him good there. And also they did respect his trade request. They did move him out to Minnesota to go play with Tibbs once it happened. So I don't know if
Derrick Rose got done the worst.
Really?
Not knowing that you're being traded, his love for the city, like watching that interview with him talk about it, how he was. It's not even an interview. They actually showed the video of like him finding out.
Correct.
And he was doing that photo shoot, and it's like, hey man, you've been traded. Wait, what?
Yeah, he was.
What? He was, and then he's just bawling. Yeah.
Yep.
Like I think he got done the worst because he didn't know it was coming.
Yeah.
At least Jimmy knew it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I think Derrick Rose also, on an emotional level, is more connected to Chicago since he was a local kid. He grew up here. He got the dream happen. You know, we got the number one pick with literally impossible odds.
Because it's rigged.
The storyline lines up. He was the youngest MVP in the NBA.
Still is.
And he still is. He was the guy who was just snake bitten by injury over injury, and I loved him, and we rooted for him, but it just wasn't going to happen. And now he's rejuvenated his career 3 teams later. He's playing really well. I guess, do you want to do Derrick Rose first then?
Well, say the D Rose comments and then we'll set it up and we'll go into what's happened. Well, I mean, D Rose was on with on the score and he was asked would he be willing to come back, and it was basically, you know, after next year because he's on a 2-year deal with the Pistons, is that he is open to anything. He wouldn't be ruling anything out, and it seemed like, you know, he'd be honored if they did, retire number one, but it's something that he's only thinking about because people keep asking him if they're going to do it. It wasn't anything he was thinking about. And it does seem like, you know, he truly does love the Chicago city. I mean, obviously he's born here, raised up here, huge, Simeon kid, was honored to wear Benji's number. I mean, it just seems right that it would happen. And it seems like he was open to it this year as well, but, you know, Pistons went out and gave him the money that he wanted. So I think that one's probably the one that is possible. The Butler one, it's going to be years until that happens. Where the D Rose one, this is a pressing thing that could happen. Not this offseason, but
we could trade for him.
I would think next offseason is when it truly happens, but that's going to be depending on money and stuff. But yeah, I think that it seems like D Rose was talking about it and tried to make it happen last year and be like, hey, I'm willing to come back to Chicago when he was a Timberwolf, and now he's still, even as a Piston,
money tied up with Felicio.
One more year left. Seems like he's willing to do it as well.
You know, where would you rather spend your, $10 million? Derrick Rose or Felicio? It's a tough one, really about even.
I found out on Twitter, there are like hardcore Felicio fans that like
who loves
call
Shrek?
him the GOAT and stuff.
No,
like,
that's ironic.
There was somebody who came up with a highlight reel for him. And like
that's
2
like
days
that he's
ago
so bad
was
that
like
we're just loving him now.
The tweet just said "goat" with the goat emoji, and the person from Bulls Twitter I follow was like, "Who spent who wasted their time making this?"
I stumbled across a Nazi Muhammad Bulls tribute video.
Nazi's good though. I like.
He
Nazi.
was like 39.
I know, but I like Nazi.
I know he was far
He had
past
like
his prime.
one good moment with us too, like a playoff moment.
He was an enforcer. He was there to foul people hard.
Hell yeah, he was.
But yeah, no, I think D Rose thing either unlikely that we trade for him, but it'd be great if we did. But yes, in free agency, if he's still playing well and is healthy, I mean this guy should go for a good contract that's long term. Like he's still he got snake bitten early in his career. He's not even like he's 29, 30.
Who? D Rose?
He's our age.
He's our age, yeah. So it's like he's 29 or 30.
D Rose is 31.
He's
going to be 32
so
next year. So when he's a free agent, he'll be 33 when that season starts.
So yeah, the odds of him getting a long-term deal probably not great then. Strike all of that. I didn't realize he was already a year older than me. Dang. I feel like an old man.
He was born in.
Because he got drafted in 2008, and he got drafted
That's when we
June,
graduated, yeah.
and he was in college.
Makes sense. Anyway, I think D Rose, I mean, if he's healthy, like at the end of next year, what do you think?
I think
should we go for it? Should we pay him the money?
Yes.
We're talking like $15 million a year?
Well, you take it then as Mr. Bulls.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I would do it in a heartbeat. And number two, I feel like...
Would you do it just because of D Rose?
No, I feel like it's a need on this team.
But
like,
what's our team going to look like at the end of next year?
True, good point. But I mean, looking at the contracts we have, even if he's a backup point guard, like I believe that kind of like what Sean was saying, Derrick Rose will happen.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler won't. I feel like when you were reading the Jimmy comments, I snapped back into like high school, college version of myself. And I just wanted to sit here just doing one of these. Like, this is what you're doing, Jimmy. You're just giving me the exactly what I want to hear. The All-Star games in Chicago. You're asked about Chicago. Of course, you're going to give this answer because you don't want to upset anyone. You don't want to make a fan base hate you. So you're just giving the I don't want to say politically correct answer. That'd be wrong. But like the nice answer. You're giving the people what they want to hear, keeping up hope for the people that do want to believe it. But I just sit there and go, Jimmy ain't ever coming back because of what we talked about. Derrick Rose has the love for the city. Derrick Rose, I feel like, will come back because he will want to end his time in Chicago. He will want to have his retirement tour be a bowl.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think when it comes to the end of his career, he will come back here. The issue I have with that is I don't think it's coming anytime soon. And that's why I don't think, come 2021, right, that free agent class, I don't think he's going to be signing here. I think he's going to take the money where the money is. I don't think the Bulls are going to offer him. I don't think the Bulls are going to offer him.
I don't think you ring chase if you're going for money. If you're going for money, you're going to a B tier team.
No,
if you're going to ring chase, you go to the Lakers.
Does he sign a 1-year deal with like a Lakers team?
Yeah, but that's only for like $4 million.
But I don't think the Bulls would be willing to go out and offer $8 million plus to D Rose.
Really?
No, I don't think they have a need for it. Like I don't think they have a need for D Rose's style, at least for that type of money. I think especially where we're going to be in 2020, or the Bulls are going to be at 2021. I don't want to say we because I'm not.
I know
you're
not a Bulls fan.
It's a slip of the tongue, but I don't know where this team's going to be when it comes to the way that they're built and made up. And do I really want a 33-year-old Derrick Rose getting starter money coming off my bench as my point guard, or are you going to pay him then to be your starter? Then I think the rebuild is in a bad spot. And that's where
if we're in rebuild in 2021, that would have been 5 years of rebuild.
Yeah, but in 2021, don't you want Kobe White being your starting point guard at that point?
No, he's not a point guard though.
Okay, but D Rose is not. D Rose shouldn't be next to Kobe White then, because Kobe White can't play defense, and D Rose isn't that great of a facilitator. I don't think those two would work together.
The way I'm looking at this,
map out your 2021 team.
We would draft a point guard. It'd be that point guard and Kobe White. Zach is still 2021. Here are the contracts we're looking at.
Yeah.
Going into that season, Zach is on the team, Tomas is on the team, and Thad Young is on the team.
Kobe White has to
for
stay
sure.
on the team.
And Gafford. Those are the for sures. The club options, Kobe White, he'll still be on the team.
Dell.
Archie Diacono, like we could He'll be on the team because Boylan likes him, and Boylan will still be here in 2020.
Yeah, who doesn't like Ryan Archidiak?
Even if he's your 11th player on the team, they'll keep him around.
Hutch has a club option.
I could see us walking on
and then Wendell has a club option.
I think
those are the only guys.
And Markkanen will be an RFA, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Or do we trade him before?
Sounds like he wants out.
He's going to be an RFA, so that you'll have the option to move him. It's not a guarantee that he's on the team, but you will have the option to keep him if you want him.
The comments came out about it sounds like he would prefer to not be here.
Yeah, well, it was more.
Would you want to play for Jim Boylan?
It was something. No. Well, the comments I think were, and that was coming from. It seems off the record from what Joe Colley was talking about. It was just more of he doesn't like being
used.
Unsure.
How he's being used?
He doesn't. He doesn't like the feeling of being unsure. Like if they want him here, he wants to be here.
Gotcha.
He doesn't want to be having these rumors floating around. So I think he wants to be let known by the front office.
He wants a locked up deal.
Yeah, I think he wants to know, are you guys going to commit to me or are you not going to commit to me? And that's the thing that I think is going to be where it comes down to with all of this is that, is this their guy? Yep. And are they willing to say, all right, this is our guy? And I think that's where the marketing stuff comes from. I don't think with the team that you laid out there, White should be in your starting lineup at that point. You're saying you're drafting a point guard, right? So then obviously the guards are gone there. Levine's going to be on the team, so where is Levine playing at that point? Is he playing at the 3?
The DeMar DeRozan 3 for us?
Yeah, and then you have Hutchison, who's likely going to be coming off the bench. You have Wendell playing at the 4. Seems like the biggest need at that
5.
Oh, Wendell at the 5, sorry. It seems like the biggest need at that point is the 4 then. That comes to Markkanen. I don't know if there's a place for D. Rose on this team. So are you going to pay him $10 million to be your bench point guard? Because it seems like, again, there isn't a defined future for this team to where you're going to be in a window to you're going to pay $10 million for D. Rose to sit on your bench and be your 6th man.
Do you think at 33 Derrick Rose is going to get $10 million from anywhere else, though?
Yes.
For 1 year, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if someone's going to offer him a 4-year, 5-year deal, a 4-year, $20 million deal or whatever, where you're getting only $5 million per year, but you're getting
that's
the extended
below MLE.
But do you want to be paying $5 million to Derrick Rose at 37? So you could front load it, but then you're at 37 you're going to be paying him $5 million.
Interesting.
So it's because of his age, and that's why I think then he is going to take the money if he can get $10 million for 1 year to go play for the Lakers or go play for really any team.
I feel like that's
sign with Detroit. I think he's going to go find the money because this guy was cheated out of money because of his injuries. I mean, Derrick Rose should be one of the highest earning point guards right now, and he isn't because of his injuries. So I think that with the way his career has gone, I still think that he wants to at least.
He got one contract. He got the extension to his rookie deal, and it was named after him.
The Rose Rule.
The Rose Rule. So that's kind of cool. So he did get some money, but I agree. He missed out on that second deal.
Yeah.
So that's tough for him.
And I think that when it comes to 37 when D Rose was playing or 36, whenever it's his last year. I think the mileage
is pretty low though for somebody that age.
Well, yeah, and he still looks good. I mean, his 3-point shot still sucks.
Yeah, but like D Rose is who we thought he was,
Yeah, I think that
he's an electric scoring point guard who's got incredible ball handler skills. He can beat anyone in a one-on-one. I trust him with the ball in his hands to get it done.
He can still get to the rim.
Yep.
It's just
So I don't know. I think the skill set's there, and I think because he has missed so much time with injuries, him at 31 versus him at 33, like it's a thing where he doesn't have the games and the wear and tear, the playoffs. It kind of bounces out for the years on the Tom Thibodeau Bulls, where you're playing 40 minutes a night for 80 games a year.
I mean, D Wade was 37 when he left, when he did the last dance.
I think that's probably about the same.
I think that's when D Rose taps
unless
out.
he gets hurt again.
Yeah, I think 36, 37 is when D Rose taps out. So we're gonna say 33. He's gonna take a 2-year deal for 10 mil or something like that. Yeah, I think or 10 20 mil. Give him 2 years and see the second year is a team option because if he plays well, you pick it up. But I think 36 and 37 is the year that we're gonna be looking for D Rose to take his final runs. I think he will retire a Bull. The Jimmy stuff is interesting, though, because I think Jimmy's going to be playing for a much longer time, and Jimmy has that ability to then just turn into like a power guard where he's like an Andre Iguodala, where he's just, he's doing everything for the team. He's going to bulk up, and he's just going to get a little bit slower, but he's so smart as a player where right now he's only 30. I could see him playing until he's like 38, 39. I don't think Jimmy's going to be a guy that's
Jimmy's predicated on his work ethic, too. It's not like he has this uber amounts of athleticism. He's a guy who worked his way up through JUCO. Like, he is just all about effort on the court, effort in the locker room, effort in the training room. Like that's his game, and I think that he will age well because he is a smart player. student of the game, you know. And like he's a great facilitator, he's a great rebounder, he's a great locker room guy. When you have the right talent around him in the locker room, and that's the thing I think people are now realizing is the like Minnesota situation looked badly maybe a year ago, and now it's like, okay, I kind of get it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the 76ers thing, same thing.
Who the hell wouldn't want 35-year-old Jimmy Butler, where he's not playing 34 minutes a game, but he's playing like 25, and he's your seventh man off the bench as a championship contender, and he's screaming at the young guys to get their ass in shape as a championship contender. That's what everybody wants. I do see him molding into an Iggy type player when he gets into those older ages, and he might get less of a run, but then we see in the postseason it's Jimmy Butler's work ethic that's pushing him through. I think that he could have a Vince Carter end to his career as well, where he's playing until he's 43 because he worked his ass off. I wouldn't be shocked that we'd see 13 more seasons out of Jimmy Butler. That's where I see Jimmy, and I don't know if it's a for sure certain thing that he is going to go back to Chicago. We look at the guy that I just said, Vince Carter.
Yep.
We don't know where those guys, where the Bulls are going to be at that point. Are they going to want a guy like Jimmy Butler who is possibly well past his prime, but is still working hard at the end of their bench? Or do they want a player that's going to be able to contribute, or they can grow when some of their good players, if they are good at that time in 10 years,
who knows?
On their bench growing? Like, where are they going to want roster spot wise? So at least for the D Rose talk, I think it is more of a certain thing that D Rose comes back in a Bulls jersey than it is Jimmy Butler in a Bulls jersey. I don't know where Jimmy's career is going to take him, and I think it's such a long and winding road that it's going to be tough to predict those twists and turns. Where D Rose, it seems at some point,
D-Rose has the love for the city.
Yeah, and he wants
the city, not just the team.
He wants to put number one back on.
Yep.
You could tell. And I think that the fans want it too. And the last thing, or the least amount thing that the Rhinos can give Bulls fans is bringing D Rose back for one more tour.
Yeah.
I think they would make so much money off of that too.
Oh, absolutely.
You get 41 games of D Rose at home, place sells out every night.
100%. 100%. Plus, you can kind of like jeter it off. And I know they've had very different career arcs, but like you're going to get that, the retirement tour that Dwayne Wade had, that kind of shtick. So I think it'd be cool if D Rose came back for the Bulls at the end of his career. I think that it's so tough to tell if it's going to be now or later that I lean towards later. I think that he goes for a championship team. I think he goes to win a ring because there's so much around him being the MVP with the least amount of playing time, post MVP basically.
Yep.
His case for the Hall of Fame is heavily questionable.
Yep.
So if he can legitimize that, and go ahead and try to knock that out by picking up a couple rings on the back end of his career, I 100% think he will go for that. I think the big contract thing, I don't think for him it was ever about the money. I think it was about the respect at the end of the day. Like from watching the interviews with him, he always felt like he gave 110% of his life to basketball. And like for the people who wrote him off early, he took offense to that personally and put that on himself. And that kind of hurt him when he gave up on basketball, not only with the Knicks, but also with the Cavaliers. And he talked about it this past weekend. He did an interview series at UIC about mental health, and he went in depth about that. And I thought it was a really interesting introspection on like who he is as a person, as a player, and like how the game and his family actually changed that. Like his kid being born, and his daughter talking to him about basketball, like that changed the way he went about basketball. So I think it's just he's a super interesting person. I know a whole lot more about him now than I did before, and that's why I'm like I feel like he wants his name written in the Hall of Fame, and if it means that he's going to go play on a championship contender for a couple of years, absolutely.
And maybe that changes the whole money thing, but at least with respect, I think there still is an alignment to money. And I think if a team wants to give me $10 million, I think that's a respectful move. Like I think that is something.
He's making $9
maybe
right
it's not
now,
about
right?
money, but it is about status. A guy that he's making about, I think 8.5, 8.5. I could
see a team. It depends on where the ceiling goes in the next couple of years. People were looking at the projections with the whole China shit going on, like at where that was going to move to, and it didn't go as badly as we expected. But like, you could see Derrick Rose getting I could see anywhere from 9 to 12.
D Rose would make it 7.3 and then 7.6 next year.
Yeah, I could see the 9 to 12 range easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's where, you might have to pay a little bit more, and I think D Rose is. He's more deserving than $7.3 million.
Yeah, I mean the product he's putting out there for the Pistons, a team that's just struggled with health the entire season. He's out there giving them 20 minutes.
Yeah, 18-6, 49% from the field, 85% from the line. Like that as a six man. I mean, putting him around, better shooters as well and a better team.
Oh my God!
If you put him in the Lakers, he's gonna have a better season, and that contract's a steal. Like Lou Williams kind of screwed over the 6-man market, taking $8 million a year. Where Spence kind of bounced it back, but now Spence is like, yeah, we'll just put all of it in Bitcoin.
Jordan Clarkson's a guy who's gonna cash in probably.
Yeah, so I think that
he's had a great run with the Jazz.
I think D Rose could flip a contender. So I think that teams with money, especially if they're in that contending stage, or those younger teams, like
you're gonna make the jump.
You put him in second unit of Memphis.
Whoo!
Oh, fuck, come on.
John Morant and D Rose.
So I mean that's something that I think that could absolutely happen.
Every Bulls fan becomes a Memphis fan because of what we had and what we could have had.
I think those are the plays that could happen, and I think that D Rose, at some point it will happen. I don't think the Reinsdorfs are stupid. I don't think D Rose is stupid. I think that he will want to come back to the Bulls, but you're right on the Hall of Fame stuff as well. Yeah. He needs a ring to help him because right now he's not a Hall of Famer.
No,
and he'll be the only MVP in NBA history to not be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the toughest things is because he doesn't have the college legacy to build into it. And that's one of the things that helped a lot of guys who didn't have the best pro careers. They were legends in college, and because he's got the asterisk around, how he got into college in the first place and game bounced and having those wins taken away. Like it's all on his NBA time, and it's a lot. It's a lot to go.
His Hall of Fame probability right now is 11.9.
Yeah.
And plus, in that championship game, they led in it, and he got beat by Mario Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers should be nowhere near the basketball.
Except for in college. He was good.
What current player has a better Hall of Fame projective possibility than Derrick Rose?
Carmelo Anthony.
A lot of them.
No.
Kawhi
okay,
Leonard.
but there's one guy that is at... So, D Rose is at 11.9.
Yes.
This guy's at 12.2.
Yeah, give us a clue. There's like 500 players
he's been in the Eastern Conference's entire career. Former college teammate of one of D Rose's pro teammates.
All right.
It's a Dookie.
No, it's not a Dookie.
Oh, so he wasn't a teammate of Luke Kennard.
No, it's not current teammate. He was a former teammate of D Rose's college teammate. Wait, it was what? Al Horford because he went to college teammates of Joakim Noah.
Worst clues ever.
Hawks, Celtics, Sixers.
Yeah.
He's been in the Eastern Conference his entire career.
Yes.
And he's a former teammate of
a former teammate.
He's a former college teammate.
Yeah,
of D Rose's
I totally when
teammate.
you said that thought he was a former teammate of one of Derrick Rose's teammates now.
Okay, whatever. It's Al Horford.
You should have said he was a former teammate of one of Rose's.
I'm not trying to give it
Bulls.
away. I'm trying to see if I can give you hard clues and you can figure it out.
No, you're just
Final
trying
thoughts.
to give us a hint, Sean. Here, I gave you something.
D Rose end of the career. Jimmy never.
D Rose will. Jimmy, I would say it's 25% he comes back.
Wow, that's higher than I would have gone.
Jimmy never.
Jimmy never
come back. Jimmy's going to be the one to go, if he ends up in that Andre spot, he's going to go ring chase on some teams. Derrick Rose will end his career with the Bulls.
I'd be shocked if D Rose wasn't. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy was. Does that make sense? D Rose, I feel like it's a certain thing. Jimmy, no fucking clue where his career is going to take him.
I agree.
So if it happens, cool.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be shocked.
I think D Rose will definitely be back in the Bulls uni before he hangs it up. Jimmy Butler, I can't imagine him coming back to the Bulls. He's just got, and who knows? In 6 years, it might the NBA might be a totally different place.
Maybe Garpax may be gone by then.
If Garpax is gone and some other changes happen, sure, maybe Jimmy will be back.
I ain't holding my breath though.
But
I don't want to pass out.